Jim, Joyce.
Season finale, Wednesday, season 1.
Well, we actually have to talk about that because technically we're still in the C word ongoing. And
Right.
This is season 1. We can certainly kind of figure this out towards the end of our show today. Do we continue with season 1? Do we start season 2? I don't know.
I
but
feel
it's
like
good to rewind our lessons learned last couple of months.
Right. I think it's a good time. I mean, 10, are we at 10 episodes? This is 10th.
This is 11th, actually. So remember, Anish was the top 10. He made it in the top 10. So we decided to do this kind of recap. I don't think the viewers, listeners know this, but we're not going to have external to us guests.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's great because I think if we say we had 10 episodes and people can be in the top 10, then we can have the next set of guests also be in the top 10 for season 2.
Season 2. That's true.
Right.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to be in top 20 then.
100%. And also, it's a lot of ground to cover, man. We went through like a serious emotional roller coaster here on this journey when I was reflecting on the episodes.
It started with a roller coaster journey. I mean, I still remember you keep pinging me, let's do this. You sucked me out of the craziness, which is great.
Yeah.
And here we are. I mean, I just, a couple of maybe comments. Anish, we had last time.
Right.
He got his army, and we're like over 70 subscribers now. We're on our way to 1,000. This is happening.
It's all happening.
It's still unproduced. However,
you got a microphone.
Not listeners, I actually have a microphone, so hopefully that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I had a quick, Aline.
Sure.
Of course. And she actually said she was walking. So she is in France now. She was walking, listening to a podcast. And she said, it really feels like I'm with you guys in either a living room having a drink or at a quiet bar having a drink. But like, I feel like part of the experience. This was amazing feedback.
Yeah. That's what a couple of people said to me. They felt like they kind of freaked out because they felt like they were they were in our conversation, as we were just hanging out and chatting, which was the whole point of it, right? Like the whole point that you might bump into someone at a conference.
Exactly.
You might have a little business talk. You might have a little bullshit.
and the beautiful thing of bumping and maybe family, I know we're unproduced, but I know you guys have your viewings. We're not as religious as you guys are about the viewings, but let's invite our families in and get their thoughts and feedback. And 100%.
I have a beautiful Emanuela join us over here.
Welcome.
It's Sebastian here.
This is set up now. The microphone.
Hey.
He's lost his mind completely.
What a beautiful family. My family is abandoning me so far. We'll see if they come over.
What?
Here we go.
Okay.
He's coming.
The better half is always by your side.
Yeah, exactly. And Gianpaolo, my 18-year-old, ran out of the house. So he's not going to be joining us.
They were trying, but they were told they have no choice.
And this is Sebastiano.
Hi.
Hey. On camera, and so you too. So this is Adina.
I lost your sound. Okay.
So I have a very quick question for the two ladies up there.
Okay.
What do you guys think of the show?
I mean, I'm just happy that you have something to do with your time now. Yeah, it's a good show. I binge watch it all the time.
You binge watch it?
Yeah. Binge listen to it, right? Yeah. All platforms.
Yeah. And what do you think, Marina? You're just happy that we took care of Eugene for an hour a week?
Jim, I don't even know where to start with this loaded question. I mean, it keeps him excited for like that 1 hour and the unprep call that you guys have, like, because it's unproduced, right? So the unprep call that gets him up on the Monday or Tuesday. When is that? It's
a Monday. And funny enough, actually, this week we had over an hour, I think, but we talked nothing about today.
So what I was a little scared about is just now when I was listening to your intro, I heard something about seasons. So this is something that's continuing, or that's my concern a little bit. So.
Right. Like, yeah. What's the rule? As long as we're having fun. we'll keep it going.
We got to have fun. So I'm gonna. I know you guys did some more homework, but I'm gonna let the girls go. And one quick question for the two of you: who is your favorite guest so far, and present company excluded?
Mine would be Jessica.
Jessica. Ooh.
Mine is Matthew Holt.
Wow. Oh wow. And do you guys know them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean.
Yeah.
Of Matthew,
yeah, I know.
right? But they've met Jessica plenty of times. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. They were high energy.
Which we recapped. That was the mess of a show.
right. It was all over the place. We lost control.
Mess of a show as opposed to the rest of them that are like really smooth sailing.
Right.
I mean, sorry, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
No.
Here.
Say your mind.
No. Yeah. Say your mind. And so
they can go now. They're asking if they can go. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for joining the show.
Right?
And
all right, so we were asked.
Sebastiano is taking one for the team from.
We have to say the same thing. So Sebastiano did his research. What was do you want to say your favorite show, or do you want to? Nice and loud.
Episode 0.
Episode 0. Episode 0. Why? What do you like about episode 0?
Just unproduced. Funny.
It was the most unproduced, and it was funny.
Okay.
That's actually my favorite as well, because it was just you guys, and it was just so natural and like so good, and like I don't know, I like listening to the two of you talk about nothing.
right. That's nice.
So, I don't know. Is season 2 just me and you, Jim? I don't know. That sounds.
I'm not sure we can handle that. And what about you? What's your favorite? You don't want to say.
I got 3 favorites.
Okay, what are the 3?
I liked Francesca, of course, because I was part of it. No, but I think she was very good and funny. I quite liked Sarah, the musical therapy thing. It was quite interesting. Oh, sorry, Kristen. Kristen. The music therapy one. Yeah, Kristen. I have my notes there. I mean, his notes. And then I can't pronounce her name now after all that debate. Chandana.
Chandana.
Yeah, a lot of good things about India and digital and very interesting.
Yeah. That's here. Well done. Good.
My top 3.
Do you want to leave or do you want to stay?
No.
I think he was dying to leave.
Stopping by.
Although he did excellent work.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be very partial with my favorites.
Okay.
The ones but my friends were on. So I love the one with Jessica, and let's put Matthew in there as well. I love the one with Kristen, love Francesca, and Anish, love that one as well. So I'll be honest, I'm very partial.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was thinking about this. I don't know what you want to do, Eugene, but like when I was going through, I started listening, and Sebastiano is our real hard worker in the family. So he started going through the episodes and listing them out. And this is what he said. I asked him to say what he learned. So in episode 0, he learned how it all started, like why we started this in the first place. And then he learned about what he liked about it, talking about the pandemic.
You got to raise the thing.
Yeah, I said,
I know.
Okay. And then with Lisa, he liked the first 40 seconds in Eugene's background. Oh, the background, your video, your.
I don't remember what, but I will double check what I had. Wait, hold on. Was that the one where was it palm trees? I thought there was one where I took a snapshot of you and I had it as a joke.
Right. I think that was funny. I think you had both going on. Right. And then Sebastiano liked how he learned in that one, how people listen to podcasts less during this pandemic. That was cool. And then, episode 2, he liked the dream, Matt Holt's dream.
Remind me, what was it?
Remember Matthew Holt went through he had a dream.
Yeah, that's right. Matthew Holt's dream. Yes.
Yeah, Matthew Holt had a dream. I didn't come up with that he had a dream about there was a plane and it was crashing and he held a press conference. Jessica analyzed it.
It was a soft landing. Unlike that episode.
Okay. And then in episode 3 with Kristen obsessed over our organized photo album from Emanuela. right? Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
We're all obsessing over that. So Francesca and I have this like, we can't talk about it, but we have this like crafty side that we can't. So we were like, we should all organize like our photos in like Francesca's episode. That was the idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then he has, I mean, do you want me to say in Sebastiano's notes?
Yeah. This is
cool. Okay. So he loved with Kristen, the music therapy, and how it addresses stress and anxiety relief and burnout. Music therapy does. It's pretty good for a 13-year-old. And the trip to Peru was pretty epic, according to him. Yeah. The ayahuasca,
which we were supposed to go this summer.
We heard that story in a lot more detail.
Yeah, that was it's pretty gross.
I want to take that trip with her again. That sounded like so much fun.
But okay, so do you want me to keep going, or do you want to riff on these? What do you want to do here? I got more notes.
This is great. Let's do the summary.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back
in review. Remember,
this is season in review. I'm gonna go back to episode 0.
The dirty word season.
I'm gonna go back to episode 0 with this is you. So we came up with on the fly. We came up with COVID bingo. Where's my COVID? COVID bingo. Then we talked about. So I was missing. I was just turning 50 at the time. We talked about planning my Moroccan birthday. Then I announced that Emanuela was pregnant.
and you actually got me with that somehow. I have no idea how, but you did.
Right. And then we learned about you being stuck in your New Jersey garage, your mother-in-law's, your mom-in-law's garage, right?
Yep.
And then we're there, and then we went through. What did we go through? Like I gave a positive, like how we were learning about Zoom, and then we talked about Andrea Bocelli's music therapy. You talked about touching your face a lot.
That's right. Yes. And I don't know. I need to check in. This was Robin. I can never pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
She was doing.
You had an app.
Startup. Yeah, it was like an app, which now that, that was like a fad. But actually now on that topic real quick, Apple, right, just announced that they're keeping track of how well and how long you're washing your hands. That was in their next release for the Apple Watch. So,
that's pretty good.
And our girls, I think they locked all of us out from the actual house.
Yeah. Did you have anything in episode 0?
Why did you lock?
No, I think it was.
But we'll figure it out.
Meticulously unproduced. Right?
Oh yeah, no, that was episode 1. Right.
Right. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah, you never expect any actual work from me.
To be fair, it's you and your team made the logo, so I just kind of show up. So you did the logo.
I thought it was the opposite too. Yeah. Okay, so then we go to Lisa. We gotta cover Lisa. So Lisa was our first guest. We started with someone pretty well known, well liked, pretty famous. That was your idea. That we knew Lisa had a following.
Well, this was actually, I remember Dan Kendall's advice.
And that's right. Yeah. So Dan came in as our spirit here, like our positive spirit in the background, and taught us how to podcast.
The reason we have this microphone here is because of him as well. He suggested this particular model.
Okay.
Not to me, for your professional ones that are coming.
Yes. I don't know why.
Okay. So we had Lisa on, and that's when we introduced the idea of meticulously unproduced. Before
that was brilliant. Brilliant, Emmy.
Thank you.
Then we actually introduced ourselves at the beginning of the podcast. We introduced who we were.
We definitely don't do regularly.
No. So, and then you reviewed the first feedback we got, and so we had some good feedback. And then Matthew Holt started doing the minute-by-minute reviews and said that the podcast would be better if either the guests.
I kind of missed them.
I know. We lost them. We burned them out. So we went through. Yeah, Lisa kind of took us through a lot of stuff here. She was like on fire. Her Simpsons background.
Oh yeah, that was
people not appearing in hospitals to have heart attacks. Like there was a lack of elective surgery. So that was it. So it was a pretty deep financial review, a lot of forecasts.
That was deep. One thing, just a side note, I found this piece of software, which is brilliant. You can load the stuff up and remove the ums and the ohs and the whatever, but also it does full transcription of all the episodes. So I'm actually wondering, and we'll ask that in the notes, if people would want to see the transcription so it's searchable and people can actually read stuff and not listen to it. This is getting really produced.
It's getting really produced, Eugene.
Okay.
I think we're at a different level for season 2.
So I'll let you guys comment. So like, you give us your Health 2.0. So Marina, you like you like the Jess and Matt show.
Yeah. So I just go, I'm partial to my friends. Like I go for the people, so I love Jessica. I love Matthew, so that was like an easy one for me.
Right.
Not so much, I go not so much about what's discussed, but like who is on it and like how fun it is and how interactive it is. Right. So, that's what I love.
She's not listening for the content. She's listening for the entertainment portion.
I'm listening for the entertainment and how many times my name gets mentioned. I'm like, you got to give me credit for like all the good stuff about the show.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I mean, like, I think a lot of the ideas are always coming from our better halves. I mean, the meticulously
100%.
unproduced, which is like, I still think it's brilliant. That's you, Emmy.
Right. That's her.
You meticulously unproduced us.
Yeah, exactly. And also she got all the whole, like, other than kind of dressing me, the whole bookcase behind the scenes, like that's been a big topic in the bookcase. So Emanuela, you were the big joke about getting pregnant. And
but before we maybe jump on and we're sort of doing this in passing, I want to touch on, actually Jessica tweeted, I think yesterday, the Health 2.0 Twitter account, it now says it's locked, closed, and it basically says for new healthcare innovation news, now go to HIMSS. It's kind of a bittersweet moment because I've been around the Health 2.0, maybe not year 1, but certainly like year 2.
How long ago was that? How long ago was Health 2.0?
I want to say 2007 or 6 that they started. Honestly,
Matthew's going to be
he's going to be all over this one. So started that, right? It's
pretty much the start, right? Like Health 2.0 has to be the start of this whole kind of, it was like right at the inception, right, of the whole idea of digital health and
interestingly enough, their whole premise back then was the health consumerism, which is only now we're back talking about it again, right? So that whole cycle kind of went consumer, B2B, and now much more consumerized. So,
and it was fascinating because people really weren't, like, you were running the event in New York, right? Like, how did Health 2.0 start?
There was a chapter. So I think there was a chapter, actually. So it was the San Francisco, the conference that Matthew and Indu were running. It was, I did go to the first one. And then they had a chapter in San Francisco, which was them. And then I think my New York chapter was chapter number 2 back in the day.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you want to tell the story?
So why don't you tell them what it is now? Obviously with the help with Alex Fair, like when he took over.
I don't even know how many, 8, 9, 10,000 members. In New York, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
So what happened? They're part of HIMSS.
So let me tell you how it started.
Okay.
It started with Eugene, his brother, and some other guy. I don't know who this other random guy is. That's all who showed up to the first meeting, and Eugene like with a tray of cheese.
No, sorry. So there was a guy, a CIO in New York City by Penn Station, gave me the conference room. I called over a clinical company.
Right.
And it actually was not even Health 2.0 yet. It was like New York Healthcare Technology Meetup something.
Right.
And we had a speaker that came off of one of the news, either CNBC or Fox or something, the night before he was on. And so here it is. It's me, my brother, the CIO, the speaker, and there was another doctor woman. So 5 of us in this room. And I remember driving back to New Jersey and I'm like, I don't know, like, is this going to grow?
Is this thing going to take off?
Happen? Is this going to? So,
do you know what I love is,
yeah, you had a huge following by the time you left it.
Yeah, you had like 400 or 500 members maybe when we moved to Amsterdam.
And then you started the one in Amsterdam.
Then started the one in Amsterdam, Health 2.0
right
there. Then one in Dusseldorf. I didn't really activate it well, honestly, just didn't have the time. So anyway, I think Matthew actually jokes around that I'm the man with the most chapters under my name. Something like that.
Awesome. It's funny. At the same time, to start kind of digital health from an Irish perspective, I got a call from, I got a call from a guy in the Irish government, and he said, "What's that?"
There was a HealthXL chapter also, by the way.
There is, and I've been to it. Yeah. No, it was pretty active. I think they still were running events recently. Like we went to an event in a pub maybe 4 months ago. We must have had 200 people. Shocker.
Many months ago at this point.
Yeah, many months.
Yeah.
But with HealthXL, I got a call from someone in the Irish government that says you have to meet this guy from IBM, and his name was Martin Kelly. And so I met Martin Kelly, and he was doing some kind of incubator and was thinking about doing something in healthcare. And that was and they were coming up with the idea of creating HealthXL. And so we met him in some warehouse that had just been raided by the police the night before because they had served alcohol illegally. And it was in the paper, and he was scrambling to do some PR management with his company.
Your story is always about Marty.
Yeah,
it's also true,
right?
Your speaking.
Oh, no, I'm saying the craziest stories always involve Marty.
Yes. But then Martin said to me, "I got to get together with I don't know what happened, but we're going to have this woman named who's the person we're going to have who's one of the early digital health kind of advisors that sat on your."
Esther Dyson. Esther Dyson.
Yeah. So there's Esther, who, I didn't know much about, but, Esther Dyson is quite famous, is coming to Dublin, and she's coming from Africa. She's going to stop in Dublin. Then she's on her way to Russia to train as a cosmonaut.
As you do.
Actually, she's back now. I saw a picture of her in the last HealthXL digital lunch. So I saw Esther's back in the crew.
Right.
That's about Esther.
Yeah,
she's actually an investor into your coach. So
ooh, she's smart.
It's still in the family.
Yeah, I love Esther. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. So we went with Connor Hanley and Martin and a few others, and we met in this kind of warehouse, and that was kind of like some of the start of HealthXL. At the same time, it must have been the same time that you were doing Health 2.0.
Yeah, I think so. The Health 2.0 New York was like 2007-8. I think the Health 2.0 in Europe was born somewhere around 12-11, maybe something like that. Again, if Matthew actually watches this minute by minute, he can correct us. So we're going to urge him.
Parallel tracks, right?
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Well, actually, I met Marty at a Health 2.0.
Right.
In Berlin. So that was, and I want to say it was 2012.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that whole get together for HealthXL was probably like that time, like a little bit, around that time.
Actually, Vishal Gulati. So some of the earlier digital health crew investors, actually, I think a lot of them met up at Health 2.0 Berlin. So
right, we got to talk about Vishal Gulati. We haven't. I'm dying to get him on.
Actually, yeah, we just. I think we need to start doing this every day, Jim.
I'm not sure for this. I did not sign up for this. No.
But I think Vishal, we got to give a shout out to Vishal. Like, he's one of the most elegant and eloquent speakers on the whole area. Like, I remember being just mesmerized by him talking about digital healthcare.
And he's just no bullshit. I mean, just no bullshit.
Right, yeah.
No bullshit. Right. So we're half hour into it. Can you guys believe it? We're half hour into it. So maybe why don't you run through Sebastian's high level comments very quick? Because I feel like we need to finish with a recap and not
Okay. So I got to hit. We got to. So then I did a joke. Okay. Episode number 3. Kristen came on. So we opened with a joke, right? The famous California venture capitalist joke.
Yeah.
But I think
you make a cut of that.
Yeah, we got to make a cut of that. She made us do breath work.
That's right. We did a lot of breathing.
Comment on your linens.
Yeah, she thought I was breaking out the linen a little too early.
Too early. It was still March or something.
That's what I found. I found the guests, whether it was our wives or Francesca, Sarah, Chandana, or Francesca, like the way the women just took us apart.
Yes.
Just took us apart in shows.
I love it.
Very clever. Love it. Okay, so we got we got Roberto. Sorry, Roberto.
Oh yeah, Roberto was on that.
Yeah, that's right. That actually,
He was one of the earlier ones.
and for me, the big takeaway from his was 10 years and 10 days, kind of because of the shit storm now. A lot of the digital health stuff happened, literally all of it got pushed in 10 days over a decade of, actually think about it. I said, the New York Health Technology 2008, 2010, 2012 in Europe. So it's been about a decade.
That, like he crystallized that.
Oh yeah.
Was that?
I'm officially adding Roberto to my favorites list.
Okay, Roberto.
Because it was early on, but yes, Adam.
Yeah,
ladies.
Actually, I mix it up because I was also thinking about Rob. Rob Garber came in, from Seven Wire, and so he came in with this big beard. This big beard, and I think I genuinely,
it was definitely a COVID-19 episode.
That was a very COVID episode, but yeah, he was brilliant. Rob was brilliant. Rob, I thought he was brilliant. Like he had a bunch of stuff that I thought was really.
I mean, all of these discussions are good, deep discussions, but I think with Robert, like we really got into kind of the investment and the thesis and what's happening in the marketplace. So.
He covered.
He just like lays everything out and it's just like so calm and just so easy and just like explains everything and it just like so easy to understand when he says it, right? Like it's just okay.
It's kind of like Pete Buttigieg or something, right? Like he just kind of, it's like he wrote a thesis on the subject before you asked the question, He's like,
and it just like he says it and you're like, of course that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way he analyzes it, you can see why he'd make a good investor. The whole, and he talked about how, he was like, okay, what do companies do? Like they first make sure their staff are safe, then they check their balance sheet, then they check their sales cycle. It was like all like discipline.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Rob. I'll keep going. I know I'm running out of time here. So Francesca, you take us on Francesca.
She's just so polished. It's fantastic, but not prepared necessarily, just polished, right? Like,
but I feel like that's how she is in life. She's just always like put together. Like she's just always like, like she always makes sense and she's always put together.
Yeah, she was very smooth, funny.
Really funny.
I like her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was good.
Says it how it is. Like what I love about Francesca, just no bullshit. And honestly, I think all of the guests that you've had, like that's what I appreciate. There's just like no bullshit, no high level stuff. It's just that's what it is.
Get right down to it.
Yeah, I love it.
I loved how she talked about the Spanish going through the stages of reopening. See,
you did the homework prep, right? Like actually probably rewatched it, which is great actually, because that all of this homework is bringing up our average viewing time.
Okay, so I thought she was great. And then we went to, did you have something on Francesca?
No,
okay.
No.
Okay, and then we went to Sarah. So we went to Amsterdam with Sarah. And my favorite part is getting into basketball, John Bon Jovi, and visiting Bruce Springsteen's house, her talking about her Rumsfeld, New Jersey upbringing and coming.
You didn't like the part where I just randomly saw her in the street carrying like some thing on her back?
Love that.
Yeah. And Sarah was the one in the closet.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She was always running.
Yeah, Sarah was saying.
She ended up in the closet in her family home to work, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah, she videoed from the closet. And she ran out of charge at one stage during that. That was pretty good. Yeah, she's awesome. She was great energy. And then, we went to Chandana, and she corrected us on, she just schooled us constantly. She schooled me constantly.
And it sounds like at least I got it right now, but I think you still got some work to do on pronunciation.
No, I nailed it. Chandana.
I don't know.
Chandana, I nailed it.
Sort of. We'll ask her.
So much energy. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I knew she'd be brilliant. But I love how she recounted our at the house where we went to hire an Indian dancer that we then was told was a Middle Eastern belly dancer that was told was from Brazil. That was from Brazil. That was pretty epic.
So that episode, I actually listened to it instead of watching it, and her voice is just so soothing and so pleasant. Yeah. It was just like so nice.
Yeah, I love the whole posh Indian, like they have them, like that's awesome. I love
listening
that.
to meditation.
Yeah, like I was so relaxed after that.
Yeah, no, because you are a pretty good doctor. And okay, then I'll take it, and then Anish, and then I think that's it. Who are we missing? We had one that we won't talk about. Anish.
Lohan was fun from Tel Aviv.
She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. She seemed like a no nonsense escape from Brazil. Story to Israel.
Yeah, story.
Absolutely brilliant. And then Anish, I'll let you finish with Anish.
You start.
I love Anish. He's so great. He's always so positive. Like he just got like such like a good energy and like aura about him. And I just like appreciate him as a person. He always looks for positive and things. And like, I think he just brought like sunshine with him, you know, like I just can't explain it any other way. Right. It's just,
well, literally from Barcelona, but also I like his similar comment to Francesca's around the different. They were already entering into another phase, and he said something about, well, there's one thing what it means and what it actually, you know, the Spaniards do. Right?
I love how he went in his life from Paris to Atlanta to Barcelona. Like what a great, starting off and. I
learned a fun fact about that. It's the only city that makes wine in India. Like I would have thought. I mean, I wouldn't even think about. So like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, white wine. It was white wine, right?
So he said to make both, but I don't remember which one we should actually drink from the region versus do not drink from that region.
You should make this a thing where you learn something new about the speaker every episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
I think I have.
Interesting, right? Like, I mean, not all of it is interesting, but like something that you wouldn't normally find out.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. I think that's.
Yeah, we started off with like people telling jokes, and then that seemed to be forced. So Lisa got the grunt of it. She was the only one that actually was forced to do a joke. You just do it no matter what. So that was fun, but cool. So so that's one. That's a wrap. I don't know. So I think we are gonna go season 2 now, even though we're in the same year, still during the C word going on, especially here in the US.
I think we're saving the world.
Yes.
Might be stretched, but I guess.
You're saving my husband's sanity, so thank you for that.
Right. And then you can hire all kinds of coaches, and then you can save the world.
Yeah, we get a better version of Eugene because of this. So thank you.
It really does get me through the week. I really do. But to make it maybe just to wrap it up, so we
have to thank our wives. We'd like to thank our wives for everything that we are.
Yes, for all the support and dedication.
Did you pinch him, Emmy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Definitely a case of marrying up on both sides.
I don't know. My leg hurts as well. I don't know. So I want to actually, since this was season 1, and it is a shot of digital health, and we are still going through this craziness. I just want to finish off this one on a couple of notes of actually digital health investment. So the StartupHealth report just came out, and in Q1 and Q2, and remember, 4 of that month was the shitstorm and still is, 9.1 billion raised. Wow. Q2 alone, 4.2. Q1 was 4.9, which is the highest raised. Now, Raquel, StartupHealth, everybody kind of fights on the numbers a bit and who tracks what or not. One thing I will point out is there was slight change of wording in their report from just digital health funding to health innovation funding, which also to me signifies that digital health is actually now real. It's here. And it's just sort of bundled into health innovation, which I think you and I have been saying this.
I think we carried it through. We started off in New York with the Health 2.0 conference. I wasn't there, but we carried it all the way through the success.
Parallel tracks.
And then just like Roberto's 10 years and 10 days, so Steve and Unity been saying decades, nothing happens. And then there's weeks that decades just happened. Right?
Totally.
So this is kind of, I think it's a good end statement to season 1.
I think so.
Plowed it through.
Yeah, we did it. There you go. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk?
Not I.
So I'm going to take a survey real quick. Would you buy the new Lululemon exercise mirror?
Have you heard about it?
I haven't even seen it. I'm constantly on Lululemon. I buy all sorts of things. What is
They're
this?
selling it yet. They just
acquired for $500 million, 500 million, just to make sure everybody gets 500 million. A company called Mirror, which is basically what?
It's the mirror.
The mirror.
Okay.
You stand in front of it and you can do exercises. There's like almost like a projection kind of thing.
And then it tracks you. Like it tracks if you're doing it properly, it tracks your form. So it's super.
Okay.
So the answer is yes. We will be buying.
Potentially.
Once we have a place.
Yes.
Once we settle in
out of the garage.
Potentially. I do miss the mirrors in the gym, I have to say, when I do yoga. So maybe could do.
Yeah, she'll definitely get the mirror.
Possibly. It's important to have the right form,
Right.
Awesome.
And I think it's like, and this is just as like we're launching season 2 as your coach is launching to this next stage, right?
Yeah.
Close.
Deep breaths. We have so much work to do right after this. It's insane.
Right before this.
Right
awesome.
before this.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But it's super exciting. I mean, you know how it is. Startup, right? It's
yeah, no, delighted to watch from a distance.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. So on to season 2, people. Thank you.
Season 2, subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. That's right.
Yes.
Thanks for watching these two.
Yep.